Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make this lovely bracelet. Now, we can do it this way with the crystal, 3 sets of crystals, or we could add a bezeled snowflake bead. So let's take a look at what we have here. Let's bring you a little bit closer. So this is the original design that I made. Now I did find, I don't know if you can see this, but you see how it rounds on the edges? It's quite rigid here. So I thought we might, instead of putting a third set of crystals and pearls in the middle, is we would put this in there and just have a lovely design for the winter, like a snowflake design. So this is tubular herringbone, and I have done a couple of videos so far. I am new to tubular herringbone. I'm so excited that I decided to try it because it is so much fun. It's so quick and easy, and yeah, so let's get started and see what we can come up with. So you're going to need a few things. I did take one of these lovely coin beads, so it's got the one hole in it. Let's see if I can get that a little more visible there. So it's got the one hole that goes down the middle, and so you can put this on just like that without any bezeling of it. And actually we might, when we get to that point, we might test the two out and see. Let me see this one here. Yeah, I find that these are a little hard to bezel in the sense that, first of all, if you used a delica, you'd probably have to use a 15 delica because this area is so narrow on here. So, so I just went ahead and used 11 O's, and then I cinch it in with the 15 O's. So bezeling, in another video, I'm going to do a bunch of bezeling videos. There's a whole bunch of easy ways to do them so that you don't have to worry about doing peyote around a flat bead. So, but we'll do some of these as well. So you're going to need something, some type of bead that's like your main bead, or you can go ahead and you know, I'm definitely going to show you this section here and then again here. So if you do want to put crystals in the middle, you can do that too. So we need I'm using size 8/0 Toho beads. These are frosted black diamond. We need some of those. And this bracelet doesn't take a lot of beads at all. It's just struggling to open it here. That's probably all we're going to need. Then you're going to need 16 pearls. Yeah, so for this one, this 16, you need 4 here, 4 here, so that's 8. And then for the other side, 16. So if you're doing the middle one, you need to add another 8 beads and another 4 crystals. And then we have 8 crystals over here. These are 4mm Swarovski, and I don't think I have a name for them, no. So that's those guys. And then you're going to need some, I like to end my herringbone with a set of 4 rows of 11/0 silver, or whatever color you're going to use for your components. So I have a wire guard here that's silver, so then I add the silver bead, so it almost looks like the beads are part of the wire guardian. And to complete the bracelet, I have a trying to think what they call this. I want to call it a jump chain, but I know that's not what it is. I have a little bit of brain fog. I have a bit of a cold, so my brain's not working entirely. So we're going to do 2 of the wire guards. And I've got 2 jump rings, silver jump rings, and a lobster claw clasp. These are really beautiful. These components are all silver, like real silver. You don't have to put real silver on. Let's put that there. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start this herringbone, tubular herringbone, without using the brick stitch. I have shown it twice in other videos, so you can go to tubular herringbone under my channel name and they'll come up. The first one, people mentioned it was confusing and I wasn't very clear about how to do it. So the second one was a lot better. Should be pretty straightforward, but we're going to go ahead and do it again so that, you know, 3 times a charm. So you start out with an alternate color bead, and that's because we're going to take these off at the end. So just now for every ladder of herringbone, and if you haven't done herringbone before, I'll show you. This is considered a ladder. So if you flip this, then there's a ladder on the other side. So that's basically it, 2 ladders. So that means when we put these on, for every ladder, you need 4 beads. So we're going to put on 8 beads. That's the first instruction for this step. I'm also using, I think this is a size 10 needle. You don't need anything like a smaller needle. And I'm using clear size 6 dragon thread. You can use whatever you prefer to use, but I found that this one worked best. So we're going to pick up, so we want 4 beads for 1 ladder. So that's 4, and then 4 more beads. That's 8. Let me separate that so you can see. Like that. 8 is all you need. Just going to draw that near the end. We are going to leave a tail because once we take those white beads out, we want to add this piece here. So you will need a bit of a tail. So we can get rid of these. I had a stop bead, but I don't think we need a stop bead. We'll see when we get there. So take this down, and you probably need maybe 6 to 8 inches at the end. It's probably all you need. So right down here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the first bead here. And I think I might enlarge this. Let's move these guys so we need them, and get these guys handy on this side. And we'll enlarge this so you can really see what I'm doing. So that's it. Just go through the first one that we put on to create a circle. You're going to skip 2 beads and go through this next one just like that. Okay. And again, you're going to see the thread right here, but it doesn't really matter because these beads are coming off. So just hang on to it. Pick up 2. Oops, that's 3. Pick up 2 beads of your main color, and you're going to go, so you're coming out of this bead here, you're going to go into this one. Through. Like that. So it doesn't look like much. You're like, what is she doing? Trust me. Many wouldn't, but trust me. So now what you're going to do is you're coming out of this bead here after adding these 2. You're going to skip these 2 like we did on the other side. We skipped 2. And we're just going to go through this. And your clue that you're in the right spot is your thread is in that spot. So that's where you want to be. But honestly, If you're in the wrong spot, it doesn't really matter. I've done it where, you know, they weren't in the right spot. It still works. The beads still come off and your herringbone is perfect. So pick up 2 of your main color and you're going to go through this bead here like that. Those, so you can see there's one on each side. Now what you're going to want to do is you want to flip these so that they're close to each other like this. And it's a bit hard. Let me turn this camera closer. Just hang on with your thread. Okay. Just adjust these so they're in the right position. Like that. Okay. So now you would be skipping those 2 beads again, but I just folded them over so you don't really see them. So just take your thread and go through the white bead and your gray bead. Like that. So you can kind of see those 2 beads that we skipped. Okay, so now we're going to add 2 gray 11-O's and go through. Actually, I think we'll go through the 2 beads here. And so it's starting to shape up where you're getting your herringbone. So let's flip this so that you can see the other side. So again, we're going to skip 2 beads. We're down here. We're going to go up through this bead, the white one and the gray one. That. Now we're going to add 2 gray beads and we're just going to go through 1 this time. That's in place. Flip it again. So now we're starting to look like the herringbone here. So we're going to go through the bottom of this gray bead and go up through the next gray bead. That. We're going to add 2 to our herringbone. That. And get them nicely. Let's turn this around so you can see where my thread is. So we want to go through, we're coming out of this one here, we're going to go through this gray bead and that will be directly across like that. Pick up 2 11-O's and go down just the 1 bead. That. And get those nudged in, turn this. The more you go down, you'll have something to hang on to. I think I might come up with a design with these, adding these beads to maybe add even more, so there's more to hang on to. So stay tuned for that. Lots of fun. So let's add 2, and just now we're gonna just keep going around. I think I added 14 rows to my bracelet for a 7.5-inch bracelet. So now I'll go up 1 here. That. So if you are new to herringbone, tubular herringbone, it might be confusing to you whether you go across 2 beads or 1 bead. And this is what I mean. So if you look, I find that what you need to do is try and get your beads as straight as possible, like lined up side by side. So then you can take your thread across and you go, okay, so it goes straight across 2 beads. So what essentially that means is you're closing off this section. So then we're going to add 2 beads here. So when we come to this side, we're only going to want to go up 1 bead, like up through 1, because now our thread is higher up. I don't know. I think that might be confusing as well, but just keep going and see if we can get it straight. So turn it, add 2 11/0s. That. This is definitely, I think when you're doing this stitch, for me, I'm like going off of how I learned. I learned from videos, and it's only been recently. I found this confusing, but once I sat down with the beads and put it together and did step by step, it made so much more sense. So now I'm only going through 1 bead here, but you can see these are kind of lined up. You could count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. So that means you would only go up 1 bead here, because we're going to add 2 beads and then it'll be equal to the other side. So pick up 2 beads, that, turn this. So you're coming out of that bead, you're going to go down the opposite bead, that. And when you're not doing this on camera too, this goes a lot faster, like super fast. That's why I'm like, I kind of like this. And then it's like a matter of finding different type of beads to create different looks and designs. So I'll just keep going till we get our 14 here. So you see how quick that is. There. So we still have not had any snow. I know a lot of people have had snow, and I just heard on the news, I'm trying to think what state it was where the ice was so bad on the highway that the cars were slipping down the hill. You could do this with 11/0 beads as well, but you can see how tiny that would be. But it would be kind of cool to do maybe a multi-strand of these. Right, there we go. So yeah, we're lucky. No snow. I think this is a little unusual for us not to have snow before Christmas, but it's not unheard of. So you can see how wide open this is. That means it needs to be closed up, which is another clue that you need to go 2 beads. Like that, and then it closes up. And keep going. There is another herringbone design that's like a twist. So if you, instead of going straight across like this, you go up to the next bead. and it creates a twist in your design. Just cool. I'll have to try that next. There. Using the 8/0 beads as well makes it go faster. For sure, they're bigger. There. Just one. The 8/0 beads, though, the thread or the needle slides back out often because the holes are so big. Okay. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. That's I thought I had 14 on here, but this looks bigger. Let me measure. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 18. So there's 10. Let's see what I can come up with in the length, because I think I need to bring it a little smaller because this guy is a little bit big. I don't like going any more than 7.5 inches, especially if I have the chain. I almost thought of the word that it's called, and you guys, I know you're going to be commenting. It's called this. Yeah, good old brain fog. You know, they talk about brain fog with people who've had COVID. I think the isolation that we've been under causes a bit of brain fog as well. Nope, that one's. So you can see there on this one here, I went up to the 1, but you can actually see the line is on an angle. So it's definitely, because sometimes these beads, I'll show you in a second here. So let's go through 2. Sometimes the design moves. You see how it's moving? So it's hard to tell where your count is. Let's do maybe 4 more here. The other thing you can do with this is you can put a tiny bead in here. So when you cross over, if you don't want to see this thread, now these are 11/0s here, but you could always use a 15/0. Let me just show you something like that, and it'll create a really neat embellishment. Let's take that out. Okay. It's interesting because I did do a design that was, I think I used 4 millimeter pearls and then a smaller bead inside here. And it was, I had taken it from a video that I'd seen, but the video didn't have any audio. So I didn't know that it was herringbone. And I made a bunch of those bracelets. And actually the middle bead was a Pandora bead in the shape of a heart. It was beautiful. I'm like, ooh, I love this. Didn't even realize I was doing herringbone. There, up one, and there. Okay, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's, let's do 15. It just seems a bit short, but I think that bracelet's kind of long. So we'll do one more. And then we're going to add the pearls. It's kind of misshapen. Okay. That. There. These two. Now we're going to add our pearls. So you're going to pick up 2 4 millimeter pearls. Pearls are a little harder to pick up. Sometimes they have a little bit of finish at the end, so you would pick up these pearls the same way you would pick up your beads. So you're coming out of this one here. You're going to go down this one. Now, because they're bigger, you see what's happening here. You want to just adjust them and try and center them. Like that. Okay, and we'll pull that a little bit tighter there. Just like that. Go to the next bead. We're going to add 2 more pearls. There. Coming out of this bead here, we're going to go into the next one. And get those down there. Like that. And it's that simple. Make sure this is in place. Oh, that's not the way I wanted to do. Okay, so your thread is coming out of this gray bead, so that means you're going to go in through the bottom of the next gray bead, and you're going to go up through the pearl as well. And you kind of have to wiggle your needle around to find the hole, because it's not going to be exactly the same as the other. And pull it tight. Now we're going to add the 2 crystals. So pick up 2 4 millimeter bicones, go down this pearl, and just the pearl. These are beautiful, these bicones. And do the same kind of thing, nudge them so that they're sitting upright. Then go across to the next pearl. Nice and tight. pick up 2 more 4mm Swarovski bicones. Go down this pearl like that, and get that one turned there like that. Go up through the pearl and through the bicone like that. And there's tons of designs you can do by adding different size beads and doing like a gradual add or something like this. Okay, so now we need the pearls. 2 4mm pearls. And these are Preciosa pearls that I'm using. Go down the bicone and the pearl. No, I guess just the bicone, now that I think of it. Because we're going to close that one up. Hang on to that. Let's get this guy flipped over here. Like that. There. Go across to the next bicone. It's hard to see. I'm seeing through like a little slit between the light and the camera. I did get my new glasses last week. I couldn't believe. I said to the lady, I said, as soon as I put them on, oh my gosh, I could see. I said, even though the doctor said my vision wasn't that much different from the previous time. She goes, oh yeah, people say that all the time. They're, when you go from seeing things a bit foggy all the time to clarity, it makes a big difference. So I'm just pulling it tight to get them in place. So now we're going to go across to the bicones and then up through the pearl as well. See if I can get it in there. If you can't, you can do it in two sections. Let me do it in 2 sections here. Through the pearl. So look at that. Amazing. So now we're going to go back to adding the gray pieces. Now let me see. Let's take a look at the bracelet here and see where the snowflake sits. So I do think we should add maybe 3 gray beads on each side of the snowflake before we put it on. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Okay, pick up 2 8/0s of the gray bead. You're just going to go through the pearl. And then up through the next pearl. Pick up 2 8/0s. Down through the next pearl. That. Up through the next pearl and up through the 8/0. Like that. I'm going to adjust my thread here. So I used an arm's width. I think we're going to need more than that. So just to let you know. Okay, pick up 2 8/0s, place, then go over to the next 8/0, go up, pick up 2, there's 3 there. It never fails. I am like working on my bracelets. I'm like, how did that happen? And it's so funny because I say in the videos, make sure you check your beads when you're putting them on, because sometimes, you know, they jump on the needle so you don't see it. That's lovely. So we'll do one more set here and then I have not tried adding a bezeled bead on here, so you've seen it here first. Do you know, I think what's funny with my style of beading is I don't know if it's overconfidence or I'm just like, I'll figure it out. I'll be fine. Until I'm not. And then I'm like, why doesn't it work out? And then I end up on YouTube going, searching for videos on how to do things. Okay, so let's go up these 2 here. Okay, so let's see. That one's there we go. So now we want to put this guy in here. So we can go through the beads, these beads. Now the hole, if you hold this up to the light, you'll be able to see where the hole is. And why it must be behind, I think it's right here. So it's behind one of these designs here. But if I had like a brighter light, you'd really see it. Tilt it to the side, you can kind of see it right there. So you can go through that hole. There's you see the holes right there. So you can go through the hole and add your 2 beads, your set of beads up here to start the other side. But you really don't have to. You could just go through. So I think that's what we'll do, is we'll just go through. So you want to make sure that it's centered. So you can see where your thread's going to go through. So we'll go through maybe 2 or 3. Now this is peyote, so they are on an angle. So you might want to go through 2 at a time. And it's not going to matter where you're going to add as well. Now what you could do is put a super duo there. You know what? I think I have some right here close by because I was working on some designs. Let me grab them. Okay, here's my super duos. So I have some, these, the matte ones are a little nicer. Let me see what it looks like first. And let's add a 4th one there. Let's take this out. Oh, sorry, I guess I hit the light when I there. Okay. Let's go back through here. So when that happens, your best bet, so I went through, it's clearly crossed over a thread, just take it off your needle. It's annoying, but I'll tell you, it's less annoying than going back and forth through things. There. Okay, let's grab this, put back on the needle. And using a bigger size needle, it's easier to get your thread. Okay, so let's see if this, how this would look. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. Let's try this. That's not what I wanted to do. To go through the other hole. Yeah, it doesn't quite sit properly, so it probably does better with the... Okay, back to the original. Let's go through two. And I'm coming to this side because if you see here, this needs to be closed up. So we're going to close that up. The part's important. So we come out of that side. I just went through two beads. And we are going to go through this bead here. And we will cross over to close it. It's like this. Go through here. There. I'm going to go through the same a second time. I feel like it's kind of loose. So I want to tighten that. So that's the best way to tighten it, is to go through it a second time. And then it secures it like that. Okay. So now let's go down this one. And I'm going to cross over here to this bead. The other side. And we're going to just find two beads. Actually, it looks like the same ones. And go through. It's getting tight because there's a lot of thread there. Pull that. Then go down this one. There. And cross over to this one. Let's go through these two top ones here. Do one and then the other. And pull it tight. Through here. Now I'm going to go down two this time, because I feel like it needs to, this piece here needs to be nice and secure, and then go up to, You can just go up one here, and I'll go over to the other side. That. And through here. Okay, so it's coming together. So really this area here is really up to you where you want to, what beads you want to go through, how you want to attach it. You could, like I said, don't bother beading it, but then maybe add 2 beads here, like 2 small 4mm pearls. Okay, so now let's go through this first bead here. Like that. And that is not going anywhere. That's super duper, and you can see like that's gonna look amazing. Okay, so now at this point you can go through the hole, but I'm noticing the hole is right here. So we'll just follow these beads around. Go around. And so you get to the other side. There. Just keep going around. About here. This one here. Okay. So now we are set to start our herringbone here. So we are going to have to, because we're not going through the middle hole, it would be easier if you went through the middle hole to add your herringbone. So we're going to use these beads to create that herringbone again, because of course now it's, you know, there's no structure on this side. And this, just want to make sure this is not coming off here. There. So start out very simple, pick up 2 like that, and don't use the same bead, go over a few beads like that, just like that, and pop them into position. Okay, so there's your first 2. So now we're going to go over to the next bead here to create the other part of the structure. Like that, pick up 2, and you're going to go through this bead here, and that will get your structure going, your herringbone structure, just like that. If you can see that. Okay, so now you can go through these beads, these silver beads, 11 O's, and then up through your 8 O's, or you can just go directly into the 8 O's. Let's go up here. We're going to add 2 We're going to go down the other one, and we're going to go through this. I'm going to have to do it in 2 steps here. Yeah. There. Let's go through this bead here. That. And then through the 11-0. Pick up 2 8-0s. Go down through this. Get those in position. And then go across to the next 2 and go up. We're going to add 1 more set, and then we'll do our pearls. There. And up through this one. Pull it tight. Pick up 2. Go down the next one. And go across 2. And up. That. There's our 3. So now we're going to do our pearls. This looks really small compared to the other one. Let me see. This is just going to fit a small hand, but since we have the extender chain, is what it's called. Oh, it should work. So I think if you don't want to rely on an extender chain, you're definitely going to want to do 18 of these guys. We did 15. So. Okay, so pearls. Pick up 2 4mm pearls. We're coming into this one here. We're going to go into the next 8-0, like that. Move them over so that they're kind of centered. There. Then go up the next 8-0. There. Pick up 2 more pearls. That. Go through this one. That. I'm going to do this in 2 steps here. It's a little bit trickier with the pearls because you can't quite see where the holes are. There we go. There. Now our crystals. Pick up 2 bicones and go through that pearl. That centered as best as you can. Through that. Pick up 2 crystals. Hey, honey. You don't need me.
You can be princess. It's okay.
And being a princess, my honey's going to grocery shop.
Go and freeze my ass off.
Have a kiss, honey.
Okay.
Kissing on camera.
Bye.
Bye, Jen. So when Jen was working, I used to do all the grocery shopping, and I would do it before I would go to pick her up from work. So when the isolation started with COVID, because I was waiting to have hand surgery, and like surgeries were being canceled. People had COVID. So I didn't want to take the chance, and neither did she. So she started doing all the grocery shopping. I guess she's still doing it. So I did say I was going to go with her, but I was like, oh. It's cold out and just didn't feel like it. Much rather spend time with you guys than grocery store. But I was smart. I made sure to give her my list. Do you know it was funny when the isolation started, or once things opened up where, we were allowed to go grocery shopping? Because we weren't even allowed to go grocery shopping for a while. And then they did, but they recommended that only one person per family would go, and they'd actually ask you at the door. Most people were pretty, you know, followed the recommendations. But the unintended consequence of that was there was a lot of guys doing grocery shopping that had never done grocery shopping before. Jen would come home, she's like, "Oh my god, they can't follow any instructions. They don't know what they're doing. They're asking everybody else, do you know where you would find this or this type of thing?" My thread is getting short here. Let's get these pearls on and then we'll tie a knot and so you can see that part of it, and then we'll add the last bit. Oh, this is annoying. So it's off center. You can see the thread there. So what I do is I just kind of pull them a bit and hold it in that position and then pull to try and get them over. Still not as much as I would like it. That's better. Okay, let's get this up this bicone, pull tight, and through the pearl. Let's go. I'm gonna go down and tie this off. So I like to get my knots away from any kind of fancy stuff going on. So that's why I'm going past the pearls, go past one of these beads, and we'll put a knot there. Hopefully, because there's really not a lot of thread here. So that could be a tricky. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab the thread there and loop my loose end around like that, and then hold it so that knot doesn't slip out. It slips out a bit, but we're going to go through these beads and that'll hide the knot and tighten it as well. And that's it. I'm going to cut this here, but you could actually weave it through. Just be careful when you're cutting. There's other threads around, like there's that thread here. So this is looking pretty good. Thank you for your patience with, I should know better when I make changes and I don't have the supplies with me. More often than not, it doesn't work out and I don't end up using them. So it's like you guys are like waiting for me to get back to my desk. So I appreciate your patience. You know what? I totally aspire to do videos like Stephanie from Bronze Pony and some of the other wonderful people that do videos for us. But it's so not my style, and I think even if I scripted it, I'd go off script. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, let's get this guy on here. So now, to add thread, I think I will go through a couple of these beads and then do a knot in here and pull it up. So let's kind of go weave back and forth. So we'll go 2 this way. And what I like to do is, you see how I have this thread here, is I put my finger on it, or thumb, to hold it in place, because you start to pull on it to go through stuff and it comes out. Through 2 more here. Let's bring it right up. So there's another 2 beads here. So these 2. Let me do 1 and 1. Go here. Hang on to that, the end of the thread. And through this one and up. Through here. Like that. Let's go through these 2. And you can still see my thread, little tail is here. So at this point it's gone through enough twists and turns, it's not gonna move out, but we'll cut it off. So go under your thread and twist around, and I pull it right tight into the thread that I picked up, and then pull it through nice and tight. Go up, go through the pearl, and didn't go through the pearl at all. Never mind. I can't believe Christmas is like a little more than a week away. Okay, just going to go through the crystal, because I'm going to cross over here to create that closing of these. That. So I'm going to go over here and up, and we'll start adding the rest of the bracelet. Oh, that's kind of loose. Okay, so let's cut this little piece off. Okay, pick up 2 8/0s, go through the pearl, there, like that. Go across to the next pearl. Pick up 2 8/0s. And you can always like do different colors in here too. So the tubular herringbone start I got from Laura McCabe, and I will put the link in the description for her channel. She doesn't have a lot of videos, but I'll tell you, I have watched some of her videos multiple times. I'm amazed at the kind of gems that she has. Now, she publishes books and does workshops and stuff like that, so it's probably why she doesn't, she doesn't give away her stuff for free, and I understand that's, I mean, if I was doing a business, I would do something like that too, but I'm retired. I'm not really interested in having a business, so this is absolutely for fun. But so I understand that this is a business for other people. But she, the last video I watched of hers was a thank you to her subscribers, and she shows you how to make something. I can't remember what it is that she makes, but she shows you how to do it. It's like, that's a great idea. So let's keep going like this. When we get a little longer, we'll count how many there is here. Up. I am really impressed with the beaders that from different countries that do really amazing beading tutorials. They don't like there's no talking, it's just music. I'm just blown away because it's really hard to keep your hands straight like from moving. I realize I move around a lot and it's hard to watch sometimes. So these, I've watched their videos and think, geez, that's the way you know how to do it. And they'll do it, hold it so that you can see what's happening with the thread and the beads. That is really hard to do. I actually, when I'm doing my own designs, you know, sitting on the couch doing whatever, watching TV, I try to practice so that my fingers aren't in the way. And it's it's a lot harder than it, you know, seems like it would be. Oh, pick up two. This looks like a frozen jewelry. Frozen has taken over our designs. Okay. These are really pretty gray beads. They're inside the color. It's too bad, like I ordered these from Beta Beta and I would have ordered like, I think I ordered a bag of 50. This is how they come, right? So 50 grams. I think it was, I want to say $5 for 50 grams. But the pictures are so small of the beads, it's kind of hard to tell. And I have so much stuff, but I would have easily ordered at least 100, you know, or more. These are quite nice. I can definitely see me using these quite a bit. Okay. Oh look, I crisscrossed this one. So it doesn't look too bad. You can sometimes get away with it. Let's make sure. Yeah, so I missed out on this one. We can go back and bring it together, but it doesn't really, like the structure is still there, so it's not too bad. I should have told Jen when she went, bring home a puppy. I drive her nuts. I'm always saying silly stuff. I'm like, why do you get upset if I'm, you know, I'm joking? She just shakes her head. Don't they have puppies at the grocery store? I just take it all the way. Like, I don't stop. Like, what do you mean they don't have puppies at the grocery store? They did the other day. Or else I'll say how I'm tired of this kitty. This kitty's old and broken. She's like, you're so mean. Oh no, he knows that. I tell him all the time. He has been snuggling up to me like crazy. I think it's because it's cold. It's not because he loves me. So, yep. One time when I was a teenager, I was at my sister's house. She had a daughter, my niece Elise, and Elise was so funny. So she would go pick her clothes to wear, and the funny part of it that she was like 4, and the funny part was that my sister Clara asked my sister Carmel to be her godmother, and Carmel's the fashion designer. So of course, Elise comes home. She's 4, right? She comes home with these bags full of clothes that my sister made her. They're like crazy, crazy. I would call it like clown clothes. They were like bright colors and just absolutely out there. So she'd go get dressed. She'd come out to go to daycare. And my sister, and of course, my sister, Clara, like we're French, right? And she married a guy who was from New Brunswick, I think. So they spoke French in the house all the time. She, she'd say to her, "Oh, you're not gonna wear that to school," like in French. And of course, my niece would be all upset. Why? So one time let me count this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What did we do? 15, so 2 more of these. And I'm running out of thread again. I should have put more on, but it should be enough for what we needed. I was eating some chips, and my niece came in the room, and she says, "Oh, Aunt Emma, can I have some chips?" And like I joke all the time, all the time, all the time. So I said, "Why?" She goes, "I'm hungry." I said, "Didn't you eat yesterday?" My sister like flipped out. She's like, "Don't tell her that. She's gonna go to school and tell them that she hasn't eaten in a day." Like, oops. Okay. One too many jokes. I'm just trying to get these lined up here. She has little girls now, I think, little girls. It's been so long since I've talked to her. Yeah, we're not going to have enough thread. Ugh, what is wrong with me? Oh, and I only put 1 bead on there. That happens a lot too. Okay. Double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now we're going to put our 11 O's on this side, and then we'll go to the other side and add them. Let's come across here. Let's move these guys over. We don't need too many of these. So you're just going to continue the same way. So you pick up 2. Coming out of this one, you're going to go into this one. And let me extend this a bit. We are just going to have enough, I think. I feel really bad now about the grocery store thing. It was my idea to wait till after dinner. Like, wait till it settles down after dinner. I'll go with you. Ooh, she's gonna remind me of that. You know what? I better go downstairs and make her something, like a pie or something. She'll forgive me then. She is so fast in the grocery store. I'm like amazed. Oh, this keeps coming undone here. That, two, two. Pick up two. So you can make this as long or as short as you want. Kind of like the four. This is really hard to see. I don't know how you guys are seeing it. Oh my gosh. So I have, when I saw the eye doctor, I have really severe dry eyes. And she said it is a concern that for infection and something else. She said, I can't remember now. But so I started using the eye drops, but oh my gosh, I had to go to the pharmacy and ask if they have an eye drop dispenser. I used to work in geriatrics, and that's the kind of stuff that we would use on them. Like, oh gosh, I'm getting old. Okay, so this is, it just dawned on me is putting the wire guard. I could have used more thread here. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Let's tie this off. I'm gonna come across though, so that I close this up, this last row. So you see this row is still open. So I'm just gonna, you won't see that too much of that thread once the wire guard's on there. And, came out. Let's see if we can do something with this. And we're gonna finish up our bracelet. So, lesson learned, just make sure you have enough thread, because this makes your life a little more difficult. Because I don't know if I'll be able to tie this off. So here's a trick, an opportunity to show you another trick. So you can see I'm not going to be able to bring my thread around to create the knot. So if you take your thread out of your needle, bring this through, do your wrapping like you would normally do, then rethread your needle. Let's bring it a little closer. That's where the hole is here. And I don't necessarily recommend putting your thread in this way. You should always do it the other way. But should do it. Okay, let's try it the other way. Hang on to your needle and put your thread between your fingers, and then put your needle on your thread. That, and hold on to where you had that wrapped. So you can see the knots right there, but we're going to take it through that little bead. So let's grab this end again. Go through a few beads. That. Make sure that's in there. There. So that's the one side. I thought this would be a quicker video, so I apologize. But you know, anytime you're watching a video of mine, just by all means go ahead and fast forward through the tricky bits. Okay, so let's do this side, and then we will attach everything. So this is what you do. You just go through and take these beads off. See how simple that is? Go to the other side. There. And see if we can bring this thread out here. One of these should come out. There. 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 Just be careful that bead wants to come out too. Yeah, it came off. That's okay, we can put that one back on. And then we'll add the silver beads, the 11 O's. Okay. So there's that. This one came off with the other one by accident, so just put it back on. Simple. Go across the two. that. Pick up 2 11 O's. Go down 1. Go across 1. That. Pick up 2. Go across. Pick up 2. Two, go up 2. Pardon me. I think I'm going to start doing videos in sets of 2 because I don't know, I think they're too long. There. There. I think I need some music now. I was saying how much I joke. We go to the pool this week, one day this week, and there's 2 police officers in the lobby. First thing in the morning, right? And I turned to them and I'm like, "Oh, you guys going for a swim?" I said to Jen after, I said, "Oh, I must sound disrespectful." She's like, "No, they're used to people joking with them." The pool was empty this week. It was really cold, so I'm sure that's why. There's like a large community of seniors that use that pool. So, okay, so this one's done. We do 8 on this, like sets of 4. Okay, so we can put the wire guardian on. So you're just going to take your wire guardian. You're on one corner. This end has to be closed up, but we'll do that as we're putting the wire guardian on. So just go up through the one tube of the wire guardian and come down through the other side like that. And go to the opposite corner like this. That. And so now we can close up this section. So go up, across. So you're coming out of this bead. I'm going to go across to this one. That. And I'm going to go up through there again. So what this has done is the initial bead was this one that we went through. Now we're going through this. So it actually centers it on here, and of course it makes it stronger. So go to the other side. You're going to do the same on the other side. So you can see the thread is coming out of this corner bead, this one here. We're going to go through this one here. We'll go through the tube first and then down through the bead, and we can close this side off because it's not closed yet. And make sure it's in that channel, which see it overlapped a bit. So just take your needle and kind of coax it into place. There. And cross this one. There. And now I'm just going to go down 2 and across that. I'm going to go across all of them. That'll just secure it. So go through 2 here. That. Down 2. Actually, we can end it here. So let's go through these 4. Like this. And we're going to put a knot here. That's the end of this one. That. There. Pull through. And down like that. And cut this off. So that's the one side. Let's put the wire guard on the other side. I'm going to have to add some thread here. Apologize for that. There. This needle was straight when I started. I bought a bunch of different type of needles, and I'll tell you, like, it was meant to do a review, plus I figured I'm going to go through them. Well, I have been going through them, and it's annoying that usually 2 to 3 projects before they start bending, and I'm going through them like crazy. Now that could be just, I tend to do a heavy tension. So, you know, I'm doing things like this where the thumb pushes on the needle, creates this oval shape. So it might not be the needles. I'm gonna have to do some type of labeling for the needles because I'll take out a certain type and I'm like, oh, I like this one, but I can't remember which one it was. So I have them all in case people let me know which ones you prefer. I know that Jill Wiseman mentioned using the tulip ones, and because they're expensive, I have some. I don't use them as much, so I know there was one that I used that I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. But then since I've been doing stuff lately, everything is really they're all bent. I had little dishes with my needles. And I have like different ones. I don't have them labeled, but I have different ones. So I kind of know in my head, oh, this one's for this and this one's for that. It's like, oh. So I'm just going ahead and doing basically the same thing I did for the other one. Now that I have some thread on here, let's go down a few. We're almost done. I'm going to take that inside there. And let's go all the way down. Tie it off. Let's move these over. We can put this on. So that's what we have so far. This is really pretty. Okay, we need some tools here. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, there's no hook for this, but it's right there. It's like super sleek. So get this. I may need a bigger jump ring. These are super small jump rings. I like to keep them small so that it's not. Yeah, I almost think it might be better to have a little more on this. So there's that side. That looks lovely. And then this side. This is like really small. There. There. That is awesome. There we go. Thanks for joining me. I apologize. I'm kind of surprised it took this long, but hey, that happens. And it definitely would take longer if I did the bezeling. But like I said, I think you can, easily put one of these on without bezeling it. So there you go. Take care, everybody. See you in the next video. Bye.